Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello, and welcome back to the channel where you join me today at Bugatti's secret workshop to take a first look at the brand new Bugatti Bolide. Just look at this extraordinary thing, based around their familiar and iconic 8-litre quad-turbo W16, but the ultimate expression of track-focused driving. Just wait until you hear all of the numbers behind this car. It offers more than 1 horsepower per kilo in full high downforce specification. It offers 2.5 tons of downforce, but just look at it. Today we're going to go through all of the ins and outs, go through the Bolide in detail, including an opportunity for me to take a seat on board, and then we're going to be starting it up, which I believe is going to sound thunderous. Join me then for a full tour of the new Bugatti Bolide. It's actually quite hard to know where to begin with this car. 100mm wide slicks, you have the aero pieces around the outside, even with the turbine blades to get the air out of there as quickly as possible for the cooling. Everything about this is just extreme to the absolute max. The journey for the Bolide started and focuses all around this engine, the famous 8-litre quad-turbo W16, the famously immensely powerful engine as well from the likes of the Bugatti Chiron, but with the question, what if that was taken, the engine gearbox and permanent all-wheel drive system, and put into the ultimate track car? Well, this is the result, and it's an actual full working machine. It's not just a show car that can only go 20 or 30 miles per hour. This is the real deal, and it's going to sound immense in a moment when we start it up. This is going to be thunderous. But the entire car is created for the ultimate in aerodynamics, the ultimate in shaving every bit of weight possible, and of course shrink wrapping the carbon fiber bodywork around that power plant. The multiple layers of this diffuser. Just take in all of those details. There's so much to it. Also visually, a large proportion of the bodywork is left in exposed carbon fiber, the gloss upper sections. This I think inherently gives more of a sporty look versus the more larger painted sections that you see on some of the regular road models. For example, if you step from the Chiron with about 10% of its body in carbon to the Chiron Pur Sport with about 30% of the body in carbon, then up to this, which is more like 70 or 80%. If we were to just walk around it though, there's so much to take in. Of course, race car, so you've got the fire and main switches out on the front. Obviously we've got plexiglass for the windows, a wiper in the center. We'll get to the interior in just a moment. All of the openings, the louvres to allow airflow to escape. And I tell you, there's a really clever part of aero here. You can see how air is channeled either up and over there, or also directly through there, which is actually a tunnel that goes through the door itself between the inner layer and the outer layer to another radiator sitting just behind. Of course, here we've got the race fuel filler cap, but let me show you this very clever piece of aero work up here on the snorkel. Of course, air comes in through the front for the cooling of the engine, but you'll see these little circles on top. These are actually bubbles that inflate up to 5 millimeters above the surface, which helps smoothen out the air over the top to increase the aerodynamic efficiency of the rear deck, to disturb or reduce some of the disturbed air that you have over the top of it. Now, I think we need to take a look inside here. So press the button, open the door up, carefully does this, of course. And this seating position, I am basically, as you can probably see, pretty much straight on the ground, sitting bum almost below heels inside the carbon tub. Just look at this. And in fact, if I turn on the main, it will wake the car up, and I'll be able to show you the lights on the outside as well. But wow, of course the gearbox is here inside the central tunnel. You can see the camera system we have here. In fact, if I just wave out of the car, you can see how the camera is right outside there. But imagine being inside this. It's actually really quite hard to, I think, fully portray what the seating position is like. I'm quite hot here at the moment, but you can see that I'm basically lying down. I feel like having a rest almost while just chilling here. I am going to turn on the lights, so I want to show you those when we step out in a moment. Make sure they are properly illuminated. tail lights. Look at that X shape you have back there. That is quite frankly epic. And just look at the size of the rear wing when you're underneath it, the painted Bugatti logo on the underside. That is actually quite something to behold, with those gigantic rear tires and the complete exposed nature of the car to help with airflow literally through the bodywork. This is what happens when Bugatti can throw out the rulebook and take that power plant, that iconic power plant, and make it into the ultimate race car. And yet we are still waiting to hear it. So I think it is probably time then to have a listen as this gets started up. It's time to take a listen.